Something that I have noticed about myself is that I want to make things, especially when I see something that someone else has made. I am very inspired by seeing someone else's process and seeing something that I think is really, really cool that somebody else has made. There's also a degree of inspiration from seeing something that I think I could do much better. But the biggest inspiration for me is seeing something that I think is just awesome. It makes me want to participate in the creation of that sort of thing. And it can be almost anything. I get excited about painting when I see paintings, especially when I see someone actually doing the painting. I get inspired to make really cool movies. I can't tell you how many times I've seen behind the scenes of some big movie and thought, I want to participate in that. I want to help bring these beautiful visual artworks to life. I want to be part of it. I want to have an influence on how a work of art like that turns out. The same thing for different kinds of drawing, for fashion. Like I've never been a person that's really into following the latest fashion. I'm not that interested in the fashion industry, but I do have my own sense of style, and watching, say, a documentary about a designer will make me excited about the idea of designing my own clothes and about defining my own personal style. The same is true for printmaking, for painting in watercolors, for collage, for web design, for music even. And that's something that I've never really considered myself to be a musician, but I have created a few auditory experiences that are of a somewhat musical persuasion. I guess I'll put a link on here somewhere. And usually I create those at a time when I've seen someone else engaged in their process of creating music. One of the things that's really gotten some of those musical experiments started is a podcast called Song Exploder. If you haven't checked it out, you should. It's just a guy talking to someone who has made a musical piece, sometimes multiple someones. And they talk about how the song came to be, how they wrote the words, how they made the rhythms, how they came up with that weird bass track, and they break it down and play examples. And every time I listen to that show, I enjoy listening to it, but I also get this amazing sense of urgency about making my own music, my own way, finding my own musical path. It's never ending, and I think that's part of the reason that I tend to change what I'm doing a lot. I get really, really excited about one thing, and I dive into it, and then a few months later, I get really, really excited and inspired by something else, and I want to do that, and I do that. That's one of the reasons it's hard for me to say what kind of artist I am. Sometimes when I meet someone new and they hear that I'm an artist, they say, "Oh, what kind?" And I'm always a bit at a loss what to say, really. I usually say something about what I'm currently working on, but I never feel like that's adequate or as simple as the question makes it sound like the answer should be. I'm not like an expert watercolorist or a printmaker who's done thousands of prints. I'm a person who makes all different sorts of arts. when the mood strikes, I jump into a new thing and make stuff. And I love to make stuff. What will I make next?